Hey guys, it's Mike with Mosquito Bite Mikes. I'm back with you after a short break. Been doing some traveling. Of course, football season started, so it's kind of a busy time of the year. But hey, it's time for the adventure to continue. So I had an opportunity a couple weeks ago. I spent 9 days in Iceland. I cannot begin to tell you guys how amazing Iceland is. I'm going to be doing a series of videos on my trip, but first I want to start with a top 10. It's really probably more than 10, but anyway, things that you're going to need to know that will help you plan your adventure. And if you haven't put Iceland on your travel list yet, I really think that this series of videos might make you change your mind. So let's get started. First off, the language is impossible.
Til hamingju með afmælið.
Seriously, are you kidding me?
So the Icelandic alphabet has 32 characters in it. If you take the English alphabet, which is 26 characters, and then subtract 4, the C, the Q, the W, and the Z, and then you add these 8 characters, then you'll have the Icelandic alphabet. So the good news, almost everybody speaks English, so you should be good to go. The weather is unpredictable, so you always have to be prepared. Iceland is unique in that it sits a little bit south of the Arctic Circle, but it's geothermic, and it's at the tail end of the Gulf Stream, which brings warmer water and moisture up from the Gulf of Mexico. So if you put all that together, you could have some really crazy weather. 30 seconds of video. That's only $3 or $4, so it's really not really that big a deal, but hey. Anyway, it's ugly out. Let's get back in the car. All right, well, we're up to number 3. They don't use paper money. Okay. That's not really true. They do have paper money. They have their own currency. It's called the Icelandic krone. But you will seldom see anybody using cash. I mean, the whole island is very modern. It's electronic. Everything's electronic. My advice would be to get a tap-to-pay credit card, and you'll be totally good to go. I mean, it's super fast. It's super easy. I was there for 9 days, and I never got any krones. So unless you're the type of person who maybe wants some local currency because you collect it, other than that, I can see no reason to worry about exchanging money. So there you go. Okay, number 4. You can drink the water anywhere. Iceland is said to have the purest water on the planet. All of their water comes from springs and aquifers that are fed by glacier melt and rainfall, and then they're filtered through ancient lava rocks. So bring your favorite water bottle and just refill it from any sink or tap. And personally, I like to pack really light, so I get there and buy one bottle of water, and then I just keep refilling it. So enjoy. Okay, so don't stay in Reykjavik. So Reykjavik is the capital and home to about a third of the population, but accommodations tend to be significantly more expensive. And you know what, let's be honest, you didn't come to Iceland to, explore a city, right? So having said that, I do recommend that you spend a day there. Get out, explore a bit. I did a walking food tour that was absolutely amazing. Shout out to Ben and Wake Up Reykjavik for a super fun afternoon.
Every tour, every day, 2 steps a day, every single day. I gained 45 pounds in about 6 months. Oh my God. Bloated like a balloon. I was so fat.
I'll leave their contact information below, but also note that I'm doing a full video on the food tour. It was that good, and it was that awesome. So found out later that they have like 5,000 5-star reviews on TripAdvisor. So there's a reason for all that. Anyway, do the food tour. Okay, rent a car. So I highly recommend that you rent a car. I'm not really a bus tour kind of guy. I mean, I like the freedom and adventure that comes with having your own transportation and figuring out your own journey. So in the spirit of buying local, I rented a 4-wheel drive car, diesel little stick shift from Reykjavik Rent-A-Car. Okay. Like I said, when in doubt, always have 4-wheel drive, boss. Oh my God, what a hot mess. Having the shades of that trip to the volcano in Panama. Oh my God, that ain't gonna be easy. Good thing I got the extra insurance. They don't charge you for scratches. Okay. Should have been the hard part. Yeah, here we go. Alright. Let's go see if we can just figure out where it went wrong. Need a navigator. Just as a data point, I spent $110 a day on my car, and that was for 8 days, and that included the highest level of insurance. So I know everyone has a different take on rental car insurance, and I urge you to look closely because Iceland has some interesting hazards certain times of the year that are just a little different than you might have seen before. And you just want to, make sure that you understand your risk. I mean, they have like gravel insurance and sand and ash and just all sorts of things. And anyway, so just be aware of what you're getting into because nothing ruins a vacation like, having to buy a rental car in a foreign country. So other little things to note, gasoline and diesel are about the same price, and it's very expensive. It's like around $8.40 US a gallon. So another thing is the primary roads are really awesome. Depending on the time of the year you go, you're likely to find really, really good driving conditions, certainly on the primary roads. You can get off the beaten path, and it can get sketchy, especially if the weather gets bad or it gets snowy. So just plan accordingly. Another little interesting thing, the problem they have there is the color at the pumps are opposite of those in the U.S., so they have a lot of problems with U.S. drivers putting gasoline in their diesel cars. I mean, we had the green handle is diesel and the black handle is gas, and it's opposite in Iceland now. They do their best to keep you from screwing that up by putting stickers on the fuel door and little contraptions over the pumps to make sure you don't mess it up, but apparently a lot of people do, so that's something to be aware of. Maximum speed limit is only 90 kilometers an hour. That's crazy because some of these roads are big and nice, and that's only 62 miles an hour. So you got to pay attention because they also have speed traps that are all electronic. And when you're out running around trying to navigate, trying to figure out where you're at, trying to be careful, it's real easy to slip through one of those. And that's the last thing you want is to get some tickets in the mail and get charged by your rental car company when you turn it in, not even knowing that you got a speeding ticket. So anyway, do rent a car. That's my advice. Okay, plan your own adventure. So now that you've got your car rented, I urge you to plan your own adventure. There are so many resources online. They have descriptions of the different things and the different activities. Most of them have sample itineraries. It's just a really good way to go in and do some research, figure out what you would like to do, and you can so easily plan your own adventure and take advantage of that. And then not only that, but when you're doing your own custom adventure, if circumstances like weather or you're bored at one place or you're running out of daylight or time, you can always change. You can always skip things and come back to them. And you just have all that flexibility with your car and trying to go and spend the time you want at the places that you want. So my advice is also don't try to rush and do too much because allow plenty of time. Your trip will just be that much more enjoyable if you do. Okay, your phone is your best friend. So, aside from the normal stuff, taking pictures and videos and posting your phone on Facebook or Instagram, there are a couple things that I want you to be aware of that I'm sure you already are, but that can really make your trip better and help you out a lot along the way. The very first one's Google Translate, especially with the Icelandic language being a little difficult as it is. If you've never used Google Translate, it's translate.google.com. Of course, I'll leave that below. Practice with that and play with it. It's super easy to use. You can hear how to pronounce the words. You can actually speak the sentence or words that you want into it without typing it, and then it'll translate it.
I'm lost and I need a beer.
Ég týndur og mig vantar bjór.
That is, make sure your phone settings allow your browser to use cell data. Murphy's Law suggests that if you get in a jam, you probably won't have Wi-Fi. So just practice with that before you leave, and it might come in handy. Okay, so the most important use of your phone is going to be for navigation. So when I planned my Golden Circle trip, I looked up all these sample itineraries and I picked out things I think I would like to see, that I might like to see, and I put them all, and I looked them up on maps and I saved them as favorites. And then once I did that, all I had to do, navigation was super simple. If wherever I was at, whichever place I wanted to go to next, I could just navigate to that place, and you don't have to really worry about a complete exact route, and you can change it as you go. And you want to skip a step due to whatever reason, it's just easy to go to the next favorite in the group. So I highly recommend that. It takes just a little bit of time, but overall it'll make your journey super easy. Now as a note, they do rent GPS at the car companies. I don't really understand that exactly because you know, if you're going so far off the beaten path that you only have a GPS, you can still use your maps to enter a GPS coordinate to get there and do the same thing. The only thing I can think of is if you're so far off in the nowhere that you don't have cell service, and then you're not able to do it. But other than that, I just can't really see. I didn't have a need for that. I might have had spotty cell service here and there on my adventure, but I didn't experience that. So, okay, so one last tip I want to leave you with is bring a power brick. My rental car USB plug didn't work, so after all day navigating, I would have had issues with a dead phone battery, and then finding my way back or back to the hotel in the dark, you know, by memory. That wouldn't have been such a great thing. So be prepared, bring a brick to charge your phone, and don't get stuck. Okay, number 9, the Northern Lights. Sadly, I did not get to see the Northern Lights this trip. The weather was just not working with me. It was very unusual weather for September there, but anyway, it didn't work out. So I was planning a custom trip with Wake Up Reykjavik, which was, if you're paying attention, the same folks I did the walking food tour with. And they offer a custom van with a guide, hot chocolate, blankets, all sorts of good stuff. So hopefully next time, I'll leave their contact information below so you can check that out. But in the meantime, enjoy these pictures from their previous trips. And one tip that I do have for you is to sign up for the first night that you're there. Because if the tour doesn't make it because of weather or whatever, you can reschedule it for free, and this will maximize your chances of getting to see the show while you're there in Iceland. So good luck, and I hope you have better luck than I did. Say yes to the Blue Lagoon. So, and I'll add, do it the day you arrive. So Blue Lagoon, you'll read everywhere, is this must-go place. It's overpriced, but you still need to go. I will agree with all of that. It is a little expensive. I think the basic package is like about $80 US, but you know what? It's really beautiful. It's really relaxing, and I highly recommend you doing that. Now, in my case, when I arrived, I had been traveling for about 18 hours elapsed time, and so I'd been up a while, so I was pretty tired. And so the Blue Lagoon's only about 20 minutes from the airport, so I made an appointment. You know, got through customs, got the car, go to the lagoon, and then after all that, you're tired and you relax in that wonderful spa, do a mud mask, have some cocktails, and it's just a really, really great way to start your Icelandic visit. A little tip: go ahead and make your Blue Lagoon appointment 2 to 3 hours after you arrive. That'll give you plenty of time to go through customs and get your car and drive to the lagoon. And anyway, and by the way, I will be doing a separate video on Blue Lagoon as well, so look for that for a lot more details and some great pictures and videos. Okay, you must hike the volcano. For 8 months in 2021 and a couple of weeks again in 2022, the Fagradalsfjall volcano. Okay, hang on a minute.
The mountain erupting is called Fagradalsfjall.
Okay, that's it. That volcano erupted, leaving spectacular lava flows through the surrounding valleys. It's a hike you won't soon forget. So some of the just real basics. It's basically 7 kilometers with a 300 meter rise in elevation, and that's each way. So there's a couple sections that are kind of steep with loose material, but overall it's really not that bad. You'll stop so much taking pictures and just enjoying the jet black steaming lava flows and the surrounding mountains that the hike just really won't seem too bad for you. So a tip: the path is well marked and easy to follow. There's no fee to enter the volcano. There is a parking fee, is the only one, which is 1,000 krone, about $7.25 US. Hiking boots are definitely recommended, and for some, trekking poles might be necessary as well. So I'm going to do a separate video on this and take you on the hike, and it's that cool. It's that much fun, and so I hope you enjoy it. Okay, final thoughts. I hope I've inspired you guys and given you some information that you found helpful. If you're an adventuresome person or you like to get off the beaten path, Iceland is so for you. So, hey, just go ahead and start planning. I want to go back so bad. I so much left undone. I mean, the Northern Lights, ice caves, glacier hike, diving silvery, whale watching. The list just goes on. So anyway, enough for today. Thanks for watching, you guys. Subscribe if you haven't, and watch for the other Iceland videos. I'm out.